Hello and welcome to today's Sunday session. Today we're going to expand on the work we did in the last session looking at if formulas. When you're building if formulas, you may get the answer at the end of an NA, not applicable, or an error. And what you don't want to have all over your spreadsheet is formulas that look like this. It makes people question whether your formula is written incorrectly or whether the answer is just wrong. So what you can do is actually wrap formulas up in an IFNA or an IFERROR formula. And that basically says, if you do my formula and it's an error, I want you to do this. If you do my formula and it brings back an NA, not applicable, then I want you to do this. And so that's what we're going to look at today. So in order to do that, we need to write some formulas that are wrong, that are broken essentially. So in this cell, I'm going to write a VLOOKUP formula that looks for the status in column D for Jenny Smith. Now you will notice that Jenny Smith is not actually an employee. So that's why it's going to give me that not applicable, because it's going to come back and say, I can't find Jenny Smith. So let's write our formula out now, and we have covered VLOOKUPs in a previous session. So what's the value that we're looking for? It's Jenny Smith. Where do you want me to look? What's the table? And the table's here. What answer do you want me to bring back? Well, if you can find it, I want you to bring back the status, which is column 2. And I do want an exact match, so I'm going to put false. And as you can see, it's given me an error because it's saying it can't find Jenny Smith. She's not in there. If I was to change that to a proper word, it would successfully work. But Jenny's not on the list, so we're getting our error. And I don't want a spreadsheet full of errors. So what I'm going to do is wrap up that formula in an IFNA statement. So first of all, I'm going to fix the information in my formula, and I'm going to do that by adding my dollar signs to the ranges that I want it to look at. I'm then going to copy this formula down to column F. So it's still looking at exactly the same ranges. It's looking for Jenny in these ranges. I want it to bring back column 2 if you can find it. And just like up here, it's saying, but I can't. So now I'm going to write an IFNA statement in it. So I write IFNA to start with. It then says, what's the value? What's the formula you want me to try and work out? So the VLOOKUP stays exactly the same. I'm not changing that. But now what I'm doing at the end is, if it is an NA, if it does give me an error, what do you want me to do instead? So I could type in a different formula here. But what I'm actually going to do is ask it to return a space or return a 0 or return some words. And I'm going to say on this occasion, employee name does not exist. So now when I press enter and I give it a bracket at the end, it's saying it can't find Jenny. So instead of giving it me my hash NA, it's giving me what I asked it to do. Now this is all, as you can see, capitalization specific. So if I want to change that, if I want a space, a dot at the end, if I wanted to start with a capital letter, I have to get it perfectly correct within my speech marks, but it will return me whatever I want it to say. So that's really, really helpful. However, sometimes we have errors in our formulas that aren't NA errors. They might be value errors. It could be a name error. Lots of other types of errors exist. So what you can actually do is use an if error instead. So it's not just looking for NAs now, it's looking for any error at all. So here I'm asking it to add up C13 and D13, and Excel is correctly saying to me, well, I've got a value error because they're not numbers, so I can't plus them together. So in this case, what I want it to do is to say, don't give me a nonsense error. I'm just going to say, return me a blank, return me a space. And so all I would do on that occasion is I would come to the front and I would type if error. I then do my formula as I normally would. I leave that as it already was. And I now just put, what do you want me to do if it does find an error? And I'm going to say, I just want you to give me a space. And that's what it's done. It's no longer saying if error, it's now just saying space. And if I put a 0 in there, it will give us a 0 instead. If I say incorrect, it's going to bring back the words incorrect. So that is how you can prevent your fabulous data tables, your spreadsheets, having errors all over them, just by simply saying, if there's an error, return me a word or a space so that it keeps my table looking tidy. And it doesn't worry the recipients that there is something broken. Nothing is broken. It's just not finding the answers we want it to find. And actually, sometimes in Excel, that's exactly what we want it to do. I hope you found this helpful, and we're going to carry on working with if formulas over the next few Sunday sessions. Thank you.